Good afternoon. My name is James Duke from the Civil War Institute. I am a fellow there, and we today are at the Jack Hopkins house. John Henry Hopkins, otherwise known as Jack, was a janitor for Gettysburg College. He was a free black man during the time of the American Civil War and worked for the college before and after the war until he passed away around 1870. We are currently standing on Washington Street, the center of Gettysburg's historical black community. It intersects with High Street, the other part of the community where the Gettysburg Colored School is. This area of the community was known as the Third Ward and is still the center of the black community in Gettysburg, and it was home to around 200 residents at the time of the war. At the time of the battle, Jack, like many of the other black residents of Gettysburg, fled before the Confederate armies invaded the town. We don't know where exactly he went, but he might have gone as far as Lancaster or Philadelphia. These were centers that had larger black communities where they could find safety in numbers in a more urban environment. They may have also gone to sort of convents around the area that would have had more black citizens that they could arm themselves and stay hidden until the Confederate armies had left. We do not know if Jack himself could have been a slave previously, but we do know he had been illiterate. On his will, he is only given a mark. At his funeral, it is said that the whole college showed up, every teacher, every student, and he was given an obituary in all of the Gettysburg papers around town, one that is reportedly better than that of Thaddeus Stevens. Now, let's walk down the street to campus, where Jack Hopkins' house is currently being excavated by the Anthropology Department of Gettysburg College. Right now we are standing behind Pennsylvania Hall, the site of Pennsylvania College during the 1860s. We are going to go check out the dig at Jack Hopkins' house right behind the college. Behind me is the site of Jack Hopkins' house on campus. He lived here when he worked as a janitor from the 1840s to the 1870s when he passed away. His family, after he passed away, moved back into town at the site we were at previously. This house stood during the Battle of Gettysburg. Even though he and his family had fled, some say they went towards Lancaster, but others say he went up north near Philadelphia. We do not know, mostly because there were no records. Jack Hopkins could not read or write. It is theorized that he was an escaped slave. However, we do know that his wife could read and write. She ended up putting in a petition to the government for funds because of the destruction caused by the Confederate armies as they came through campus. She even got money for a hog that was owned by the family. In front of us is the site of Jack Hopkins' house. This is where the cellar was, where they raised the house and pushed the debris of the house into the cellar. This is where we're beginning to see the foundations here and the bricks that encompass the house. We also see pipeworks as well as the bricks, and we've been finding things like nails and other incidental objects that are associated with the house. A student behind us is sifting the dirt that he has brought out from the pit we were at before. This is where all of the essentially refuse fill goes before everything else is put into bags, anything considered an artifact, like the nails we mentioned before, pieces of ceramic or glass. Some of the things that we've been finding at the dig are evidences of the habitation of the site, like this piece of ceramic, which is obviously decorated. This would have been a very nice item to have at the time. We know that Jack had items like this that he would have spent a lot of money on, a lot of his salary on. One of these items was a clock, which would have cost at least a month's salary, around $15, that was broken by the Confederates when they came through campus. Another one of these items is a nail. We found a lot of nails. A lot of these are signs of the wood parts of the house. These are wooden additions that were built onto the house after it was used as a washroom when it was updated for Jack. And one more piece that we've been found is an oyster shell. This is a very interesting item because obviously we are not on the coast. However, oyster shells were very popular in Gettysburg. Jack's son, who was also named Jack Hopkins, he opened up a restaurant selling oyster shells. He was a waiter at a tavern, eventually opened up his own shop where he would sell oysters and ice cream. Ultimately, we believe this dig can help the college connect with the community of Gettysburg as a whole, as well as the historic black community that has long since been forgotten by those who come here just for the battle. This community has been long-standing even before the war and still remains, and is one which we should remember and we should respect.